You're now watching the Danny Mac Podcast on the Bet Rivers Network.
So who do you fire? The offensive coordinator, the head coach, the guard who fumbled even though he shouldn't have been asked to be a football carrier? Oh, my God. The Bears lose. Thanks for joining me. I'm Dan McNeil, 18-15, the final score today against the Washington Commanders in what was a most improbable finish to an improbable finish, because the Bears had no business stealing that thing, as they looked like they had done when they captured a 15-12 lead late in the game when they scored the go-ahead touchdown after the pass interference call. When Keenan Allen was basically tackled in the end zone. It's just crazy that the Commanders would wind up being in a position to win that game. Jaden Daniels, sore rib and all, unleashing a 52-yard bomb. Tyreek Stevenson bats the ball in the air. It goes behind the big sea of hands, if you will. That's the name of a great game in NFL history, I'll have you know. And then there's Noah Brown, the big tight end, who's just standing there. The easiest Hail Mary touchdown of all time. And Washington wins it in walk-off fashion, as they deserve to do, because they kicked the Bears' ass all day today. Jaden Daniels, with the sore rib and all, was 21 out of 38 for 326 yards and a touchdown. They did not intercept him. This guy just does not throw picks. He just doesn't. Caleb Williams also did not throw a pick, but it took him until, 9 minutes left in the game before Cole Kmet was targeted? 10 out of 24 for 131 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He was awful. There's no other way of saying it. He was awful early. He was overexcited. He overthrows guys. He looks very much like the last guy when he's not on, doesn't he? And he holds the ball every bit as long as we used to get pissed when Fields would hang on to it too long. I was surprised to see only 2 sacks on the day today. And the pre-snap penalties just don't stop with this team. And the confusion that continues to exist with the right guard, Matt Pryor, constantly looking to his left at the last second, and how he hasn't been called for illegal procedure, false start, whatever you want to call it. I have no idea why they don't get him for this. And they're playing a bunch of different guys in and out because of injuries. 76, Tevin Jenkins can't stay healthy for a series, let alone a game. He got bent up late in the game on the Kramer fumble. The Doug Kramer fumble. Can we do that? The 2 quarterback draws that ensued were terrible, too. And it shows me that Luke Getsy, Shane Waldron, is meet the new boss, same as the old boss, right? Just doesn't have it. And he choked. If those were called plays on back-to-back snaps, quarterback draws, are you kidding me? That's the best you can come up with? And one of them was on 3rd and 8. The Bears were dreadful on 3rd down. They were 2 of 13 on 3rd down. DeAndre Swift had a decent game running the football. 18 carries for 129 yards. His 56-yard touchdown run kept the Bears alive when nothing else seemed like it was going their way. I have been consistent in this over the years. It is not cute to deploy an offensive or a defensive tackle as a fullback and ask him to run with the football. That's not what he does. That's not what he's trained to do. I don't care that you work at it during the week, if in fact they do that. This is professional football. Give the football inside the 2-yard line to professional running backs, and you have Roschon Johnson out there for that express purpose. The Bears just cut Kari Blasingame this past week, who was rostered, and now the Bears, with cutting him, leaves only 9 teams in the NFL that deploy a fullback. If you're going to deploy one, let him have the football, or let him have those goal line snaps as your hammer in isolation block. And that's what Kramer did the first few weeks of the season, and I didn't like that. At least it was an offensive lineman, but it's a different world when you're coming out of the backfield and you're getting the football. And it was pointed out by the broadcast team of Jim Nance, who called Matt Eberflus all day today, and Tony Romo. Williams just had no opportunity to get the ball into Kramer's belly. Kramer was lined up so close to him, he almost had to reach for him to get the ball to him. He was on top of him in no time. It was a terrible decision to play that game when you'd worked so goddamn hard to get there. You're trailing 12-7. Nothing went right for you all day. You were 1 of 10 on third down your first 10 tries. Your quarterback had 4 completions for 36 yards after 3 quarters, and you get it to the inside the 2-yard line, and you want to give it to the guard, Doug Kramer Jr. What is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What possibly can you be thinking here? Because that's not what he does. And it wasn't cute when Matt Nagy did it with Akeem Hicks, when he lined him up at fullback, and the tackle, number 79, wound up being, in their loss to Philly. Didn't the playoff loss to the Eagles, wasn't that the only touchdown they scored was on a tackle eligible? That's, let the playmakers handle the football. You got all these guys on this roster who you acquired. DeAndre Swift, who's really, really getting it done these last 4 weeks after a slow start. Roschon Johnson seems to have a pretty good nose for the goal line. And you give the ball to Doug Kramer. What are you doing? I never will understand how smart people get elevated to these positions and they make those kind of mistakes. What could you be thinking? Why would that even be in game plan? And if it were, why would you be willing to deploy it when you're trailing? It's 12-7. You haven't been inside the 2 all day. It's amazing. Just amazing. Terry McLaurin, I was wrong on, by the way, as I awkwardly throw out a bouquet to a Commanders player who deserves it. Several of them do. McLaurin is one of them. He was a beast today. I've not been a big fan of his over the years. He had 5 catches for 125 yards, and the 61-yarder was the long one. Rome Dunze, 3 catches, 41 yards. Keenan Allen, 2 catches, 39 yards. DJ Moore, 2 catches, 27 yards. By the way, I'm good with the bubble screen on 4th down. You don't have to show me that again either. Cole Kmet, 1 catch, 14 yards. DeAndre Carter, 1 catch, 7 yards. Gerald Everett, 1 catch, 3 yards. 10 catches, 10 receptions. The leading tackler was Tremaine Edmonds. He played well. Tyreek Stevenson had a long day. He had a tough day. He got a lot of Terry McLaurin today, and he got worked hard. He had 7 solos. That was tops on the team. I think he's a tough kid. I think, he plays a position where you have to have a short memory when you're a corner in that league. And DeMarcus Walker also, he jumped on a lot of piles today because I don't remember seeing him around the ball that much, but he winds up with eight total tackles. I think only one of them was a solo tackle. Not too much of a problem with the defense. They battled. They did what they had to do. They put their team in a position to win, for Christ's sake. 15-12. You had him 15-12. And with no time left, Jaden Daniels, the rookie, the second player chosen, throws the Hail Mary that breaks your back. Noah Brown, your table is ready. What a tough loss. Because they never should have been in a position to win, and they won the game. They stole the game and then gave it right back. Just amazing. The Bears fall to 4-3. The Arizona Cardinals are up next. When you play college and pro football, I want to let you know that if you do same game parlays at Bet Rivers, you can earn squares, and with those squares, you can get profit boosts. You can get bonus bets and up to $10,000 jackpots. Play same game parlays with Bet Rivers. I did for the Bears and Commanders, and boy, was I off because I had Caleb Williams throwing 2 touchdown passes, and I had the Bears scoring 23 points. They'd have had to spend a lot more time out there to get to 23 because it took them forever to get to 15. And is that a nice little shovel to Cole Kmet for the 2-point conversion. Yeah, it was a thing today. After the bye week, that's what Team Eberflus came up with. That's the best they could muster up. They scored 5 touchdowns against the Jaguars, and everything was good in the world. You get the Panthers and the Jaguars, and they will fix what's wrong with you. And then you go right back to work. First road game. It's a tough road game against Washington, which has got a hot quarterback, even though he's hurt. And your offense sucked. That was just a terrible offensive performance by the Bears. I would have expected better after having a week to heal up and get together and get some sort of rhythm going. That's what Matt Eberflus says they're missing, rhythm, as they go to the half. How about first downs? That's what you're missing too. They were just awful today. I never would have guessed they would have played as shitty as they played today. I wasn't expecting them to be great, but I thought they would win the football game, and I thought they would represent themselves offensively like an NFL team. They looked today every bit as bad as they looked during the worst parts of the Justin Fields era. There's no other way to say it. They don't look like a very good football team offensively more often than not. Those flashes they've shown us have been just that, flashes. And they have come against terrible football teams. You had the genie, David Tepper, bring his Panthers in here just a few weeks ago. And then you had the game in London against the Jaguars, who got there late and had a lot of things on their mind with the hurricanes in Florida. It's not been a good start for this football team at 4-3. They lost to Indianapolis. They lost to Washington. I was expecting much better. My 11-6 prediction is looking ominous right now. I don't have any confidence in this team to win 11 games. I do have confidence in Randy Merkin to get me A-list guests for this podcast because that's what Merk does. We're supposed to have a conversation with Brian Urlacher in the next few days on this very show about all things Bears. And, of course, when I think of great Bears-Cardinals games, The one from the Super Bowl season of 06 comes to mind immediately, and that was one of the Brian Urlacher willing his team to victory games that year. Urlacher and Brown getting the job done, and Devin Hester with a return in the fourth quarter of that game. That was the Dennis Green, the Bears are who we thought they were game. So I'm hoping to have a conversation with Urlacher very, very soon about all Blues Bears. No complaints with the defense. They do what they can. You can't go out there and score points as well, although that would be nice. Got to take it away. Take it away, take it away, take it away now. And Montez Sweat, anytime you have a double sack game, that's fine too. That way you won't feel insulted anymore. Sam Michael is the executive producer of the Danny Mac podcast. Adam Delavitt makes everything happen for us at the network. And again, thanks to Randy Merkin and Troy Mocker and Alex Pastor for everything they do. The Bears lose to Washington 18-15 is the final score. I'm Dan McNeil. Take care.